everybody. This is Frances Caft-Ice, President of the East End Chamber of Commerce, and it's an honor to welcome you to our COVID-19 business webinar. Today is September 1, and we're so honored to have Freddie Gorgeous with us here today. Hi, Freddie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me here today. I'm so excited.
Yes, your presentation on LinkedIn is going to be so important to everybody that's watching here today. And so I'm just so excited to have you, an expert in LinkedIn, talking to us. But before we started, I personally wanted to thank you. You have East End ties. You helped bring the first ever white linen nights to our navigation esplanade. So I wanted to first of all thank you for doing that. I know this year we're not able to do that in person, but I can't wait for it to come back so we can go back out there and sport our white linen.
Absolutely. And we can collaboratively do it together this time.
I do. I agree. That would be so much fun. I'm going to let you get your slides started, but now we're on to you to present your LinkedIn sales information and the importance of how you have to use that in order to create sales.
All right, good deal. Well, I will go ahead and get started with that. So first of all, I'm Freddie Gorgeous, and today we're going to talk about LinkedIn, your business for sales. So it's going to be the strategy and tools and skills that you need for a successful networking program. I have so many testimonials on what networking has done for me and what networking has done for some of my clients that I've helped out and just the friends that I've met along the way. So an effective networking is important not only for an organization to grow and succeed, but also for its people to succeed. And this is, when you think about networking, you're not just networking for yourself, you're networking for your organization that you represent, and also networking for the company that you represent too as well. So here are some of the things that you will learn into this program that we'll talk about today. We'll talk about what's new on LinkedIn. We'll go over the 30-point LinkedIn profile checklist. And just full disclosure, I offer a 3-hour LinkedIn workshop, and the first hour is just solely on the 30-point LinkedIn profile checklist. So in full disclosure, we won't be able to go through everything. This is just going to be a high view of some of the main things that you'll learn, and also some of the marketing networking strategies as I go through each slides of how you can apply it in your online networking experience. And then we'll tie that in on how employee advocacy programs works with networking on LinkedIn and the importance of engaging your employees and getting your team involved as well, or your membership organization. All right, so we'll go a little bit about who is Freddie Gorgeous and what qualifies me to present today about LinkedIn. Originally, I'm from Huntsville, Texas, a population of 30,000. You can probably tell that I grew up in the country just by my accent. Before 2008, like most people, I didn't really have a network. Just living in the suburbs, family, house, multiple cars, some business. Then, of course, the financial crisis came down. And when the financial crisis came in 2008, didn't know where to turn. And again, I didn't have a network. And that's a picture of me on the right-hand side holding this big $500 check. And I call this my fire in the belly story. The reason being is because I had to eat 14 jalapenos on a hot summer day to win that $500 all under 1 minute. And I reflect on that story, and I call it my fire in the belly story because it was at that moment that I realized, Freddie, what if you had a network? What if you had people to turn to, wise counsel, a community that you have built up that would advocate for you or share ideas and opportunities with you? Would you have had more opportunities other than entering a jalapeno eating contest and eating 14 jalapenos? So I share that because this is the importance of networking. Networking gives you more opportunities. Quickly became that year, 2008, the business development manager for Kelsey Sybil Clinic, where I first met the East End Chamber of Commerce and have a great testimonial there that I'll let Frances share, and we'll talk about that later on. In 2012, I became the CEO and founder of Houston Young Professionals. Today, Houston Young Professional has over 26,000 LinkedIn members. It originally grew on LinkedIn as a LinkedIn group. It's the largest LinkedIn group for the city of Houston, and it's the 5th largest LinkedIn group in the category of young professionals. And remind you, there's over 600 million professionals on LinkedIn. My personal LinkedIn connection is a little over 34,000. LinkedIn caps you at 30,000. HYP Facebook group has a little over 13,000 Facebook fans, and I've quickly become known as the LinkedIn Authority. And I share this information not to impress anyone, but to impress upon you if this individual, this professional from Huntsville, Texas, with a population of 30,000, has been able to come into Houston and grow this network. Let me share the same tools that I use to do this with you, and you could do the same as well. So just don't take my words for it. You may want to write this website down or take a screenshot of this website, linkedin.com/sales/SSI. LinkedIn gives you what's called a social selling index. And just like with any goals that you have to take a baseline to quickly understand where are you at today in order so you can make those improvements so you can have a better tomorrow. And the LinkedIn Social Selling Index gives you an idea and a window. How well are you at establishing your professional brand? How well are you at finding the right people? How well are you at engaging with insight? And also building relationships. Now, of course, my social selling index fluctuates up and down a little bit depending upon if I'm working most of my energy and time with a client or focusing my energy and time on my personal profile itself. But it ranks me as 1% within my network of over 34,000, and also it ranks me at 1% within my industry, and that's going to be business consulting. So find out what your social selling index score is, and then take action on it, and use that as an opportunity to grow your network. All right, so I love this part here, feature and benefit. Anything is a feature. It's only a benefit if you make it a benefit and you're able to talk about what it can do for you. So that's exactly what we're going to do. This is just going to be a conversation of some of the features that LinkedIn has and how I've been able to use it as a benefit, and you can too as well. All right, so what's new on LinkedIn? A lot of the stuff that I'm going to show you that's new on LinkedIn, and again, there's going to be different views that you have on your mobile device and iPad and tablets compared to your desktop version and view. But some of the things that we're going to talk about is adding your contacts to your LinkedIn, and a great way, an easy way to do that. Creating a QR code, finding out who's nearby with Bluetooth technology. And again, understand that we're not able to do face-to-face networking, but when we are, this is going to be an important tool for you to use. We're also going to talk about share that you're hiring and how you can use that as a tool to business development and finding the right people. We can talk about Pro Finders feature, finding an expert or getting listed as an expert, celebration occasions, adding a document and how that would look like on your LinkedIn profile, creating a poll and how you can use that for lead generation, uploading videos and images, and the comparison of how they perform on LinkedIn, voice messages, believe it or not, you can do that on LinkedIn as well, your map location, availability and calendar, spam filtration, group chat, and group invites. And again, this is just a short list of some of the new features. And again, I offer a 3-hour one-on-one or group workshop that we can go over for more information. So what can you do with LinkedIn Messenger? And again, this is going to be on the mobile version of LinkedIn, not the desktop, but on the mobile version, you have some extra features that you can do. And we'll go straight into the voice messages. In fact, I left Francis a voice message last week as an example. And what a better way to approach a person that you're trying to reach than leaving a personal voice message. There's nothing more personal than your voice. And one of the things that I get from clients is, how can I be more personable on LinkedIn? I just don't want to sound spammy, or I don't want to sound salesy. Well, go to your LinkedIn voice message, click on the microphone icon, and you can leave up to a 30-second voice message. So go ahead and try it, experience with it. Full disclosure, though, is once you make your recording, you don't get a chance to listen to it. You can either cancel or send. So be sure to be crisp and be clear in your speech. Share your location inside the app. LinkedIn is constantly trying to keep us inside the app so we don't navigate away. And this is really great, specifically if you're traveling or you're trying to find that next location or event and where it's at, and somebody's already there. They can just simply drop the map location here, and again, I did this with Francis as a experiment to show and display that you can go to the map feature on your LinkedIn location right here, and then just start typing the address in or the name of the company, and it'll automatically show and drop the map pin right there for you. And again, this is an example of the voice message of what it looks like. You can leave up to a 30-second voice message on LinkedIn. And again, these are just great, easy touch points that you can do. I also recommend people to sync and share their calendars on LinkedIn. And it's as simple as going on to your availability on your messenger, and then it'll ask you if you'd like to sync your calendar. And that way you don't have to go back and forth with individuals of what time slots you have available. They can quickly and easily see what days are open for you. You can also put parameters and let people know that you're only open for certain days. There's also other tools that you can use. I use a tool called Calendly, and it helps me block and set up my appointments. And the idea is that the easier that you make it for people to reach you and to book a time with you, the more appointments that you'll have, which will result in more opportunities that you'll have as well. All right, let me go ahead here real quick. Organize and filter your inbound messages. So on LinkedIn, oftentimes we get a lot of spam. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I'll get a LinkedIn request with a generic inbound message with that request. Once I accept it, it seems like 2 minutes later, I'm getting this inbound message for a sales pitch. Well, you don't want to be that person. And how do you control other people like that? Well, you can mark items as spam so you don't receive more messages from that individual. You can unconnect from that individual as well. But the great feature, again, is to be able to mark items, whether it's spam or not. You can archive it. You can also sort based upon the emails that you're getting as well, or just from your connections. Sync your contacts and jump to 100, 500 new contacts. Well, let me tell you, if you're not up to 500 plus contacts right now, then you're not taking full advantage of all the tools that LinkedIn has to offer. This is available on your desktop and also your mobile device. On your mobile device, it's going to be the network icon on the bottom left. And once you click it, there'll be a feature to say add your contacts. And what is it does, and again, you want to do this on your mobile device and also on your desktop, because the mobile device will go to your contacts in your cell phone, where your desktop will just sync into your existing email address as well. So on the far right-hand side, you can see that I have over 1,936 suggested connections. And I know they're on LinkedIn, and it's identified them by their email or phone number, and it's populated with the individuals that I have on my phone. And again, full disclosure, I have about 5,000 contacts in my phone. So there's no surprise that it pulls up over 1,900 possible connections that I can make on LinkedIn. But to be honest, I'm pretty much maxed out on my LinkedIn connections. But if you're at under 500 or around 500, this is a feature that you want to take full advantage of. And you do want to sync in your contacts, because at the end of the day, there could be people out there that you might have forgotten about, or maybe they've changed roles, or they've grown in different areas, create a new whole set of skill sets. Connect with as many people as you can that's in your database, because you already have had and have already established some sort of relationship with them already. You can share your QR code too as well on LinkedIn. This is also available just on the mobile device, not the desktop. And again, you go to the My Network feature, and you'll see the QR code. Now, this QR code, the way they designed that is based upon your LinkedIn URL. So if you change your first name on LinkedIn, that's going to change your LinkedIn URL, thus changing your QR code. So anytime you change your name on LinkedIn, like adding an initial or an emoji, make sure that you update your QR code. So when you print it up on your business card or posters or other collateral, it's representing the right QR code. Also, it's a great way to connect with individuals. You simply take the camera feature and scan the QR code, and it goes directly to that individual's LinkedIn profile. Who is nearby? And again, at the very bottom, you'll see Find Nearby. You have to activate your Bluetooth. And again, this works within proximity. So you have to be near the person within the same room. It's a really great feature if you're in a boardroom or if you're giving a presentation or you're at a networking event and you instruct everybody to turn on the Bluetooth feature and to sync it in. And then what happens is that everyone that's nearby that's turned on the Bluetooth for activation will start populating as an option to connect. And you can either connect immediately then, or sometimes what I like to do is just take screenshots so I remember who I'm connecting with. And then at that time, when I'm done, start connecting and start the networking at that time. So some post features. This again is on the mobile device. There's different features available for the desktop, but you can either share that you're hiring, you can find an expert and talk a little bit more about what that looks like, celebrate an occasion or an employee or individual. You can add a document such as a PDF, or you can create a poll. So finding qualified talents is letting people know that you're hiring. A lot of people don't know this, but LinkedIn will allow you to make one free job post. So one of the biggest questions I get from people all the time is, Freddie, I need to increase sales. I need to increase marketing, but I don't have much of a budget, or I don't have that much time. Well, this is a simple answer to both of those questions. You can hire an intern. So right now I put a social media post out there, a LinkedIn job post that I'm recruiting for a social media marketing intern. Within 14 minutes of posting, I started receiving job applicants. Now it's been less than a week, and I have a little over 300 views on this particular job post, and I have a little over 60 requests from job applicants that's wanting to be an intern to learn more about social media marketing and to put their new degree into work. And the cool thing about this is that at the very bottom, when you click on the More feature, you can see and it reveals their email address and their phone number. So it's also another great way to build up an email database and also build up a cell phone number database. So if you're trying to grow your business and there's one takeaway that you get out of this presentation and you're doing it on a budget, why not put out that you're looking for an intern to come in that will do some simple day-to-day tasks for you to make your job easier. LinkedIn Pro Finder. This feature is known as Find an Expert, but when you go and select that feature, it'll ask you, what are you looking for? And there's a lot of things that people can be an expert in or be a pro finder. And you have to apply to be a LinkedIn Pro Finder. It's not something that's automatic. I receive at least 5 Pro Finder requests for social media marketing or event marketing, email marketing a week. And this is a great way for lead generation. Again, if you're working on a budget and you're a one-man show and you're trying to do some more freelance work, and you're an accountant, you're insurance, you're a realtor, you're in healthcare, you do marketing, you do business development, you do marketing plans, business plans. There's a lot of different categories that you can be identified as a pro finder. But the very most important thing is that you must have a complete LinkedIn profile. And your LinkedIn profile must show the LinkedIn auditor that's reviewing your profile that you have the credentials and expertise of performing in that specific industry or silo in that niche that you're wanting to be an expert in. But it's also a great way for you to hire local freelance agents that are out there that's already been identified as qualified LinkedIn pro finders. So if you want to know more about this, I highly recommend getting with me later on after this presentation or going to my profile, sending me a message, and we can talk more about getting you listed as a LinkedIn pro finder or helping you finding that right freelance agent to work with you. I love this feature here. We know what a picture will look like on LinkedIn and a video, but when you upload a PDF to LinkedIn, an attachment, it works much like a slide share, a slideshow, where you have to slide to the right, and you can upload as many pages as you like. This one here, I think, has like 8 or 10 pages. And the interesting thing about this particular post, and I just gave you an example, because oftentimes I get to ask, what to post. This one particular post has received over 67,000 views within a month's time period, and just talks simply about leadership. And also, you can see in this post that I have several call to actions. One, text LinkedIn to 88202 for a LinkedIn strategy call. But I also have hashtags, and we'll talk more about hashtags and how you can use them for tracking your campaign or putting more influence on your posts on hashtags that people like to follow, such as leader or boss or marketing or sales. Use polls for lead generation. This is a great feature. It doesn't matter what industry that you're in. If you just take some time and think about what are some qualifying questions that I can ask someone and give them an ABC choice that could help me reveal, are they a good possible client to reach out to or prospect to engage with? And this is a great way to increase your opportunities and probabilities. I did one on how do you filter out your LinkedIn requests. Do you just go to geography only? Are you a LinkedIn open networker? Do you look at just only job titles, or do you focus on industry? Your question could be about homeowners insurance, or about how do you manage your healthcare? What are the main concerns that you have? And again, these are ways to filter out individuals that could be a great referral source, or also a great opportunity to engage for your service or products that you offer, the solutions to the problems that you provide. So if you could think about problems that people may have and ask open-ended questions, I highly encourage you to use the poll feature to take a survey. And the cool thing about that is that you can go in and find out, well, okay, who answered in what particular way, option A, B, or C, or D. And then you can go directly and message them or send them a LinkedIn request to grow your network. So if you're not using LinkedIn polls or surveys, start using them today, and I bet you'll find great opportunities in the future for yourself. We talked a little bit about hashtags. So find an industry or a client hashtag. If you don't know what hashtag to use, I'm sure there's someone in your industry that's just crushing it right now. And one of the greatest things that you can do is, and simplest things, is that you can emulate their behavior on LinkedIn until you start finding your own voice, finding your own rhythm. It's a great way to kickstart your activity on LinkedIn if you haven't been active on LinkedIn. But then again, you can also use hashtags to manage specific campaigns and see how those campaigns are tracking. Because when you start posting frequently on LinkedIn, what happens when you want to go back and see the production of a post is that you have to scroll down through all your posts to find that one that you're looking for. But if you put the hashtag in the post, you can simply put the hashtag in the search bar and it'll go directly to that hashtag. You can also use LinkedIn articles as a newsletter. So if your company or if your business does not have a company newsletter to let people know about your expertise and your special skill sets, where you can flex the knowledge that you have, start using LinkedIn articles to do so. And if I give you some advice, be cognitive of how you create your LinkedIn headline for that article, because that headline becomes part of your LinkedIn URL. And when you think about how people search on Google or any browser, they search by asking questions. Where is the best pizza place or the best Chamber of Commerce in Houston? So when you write your LinkedIn article, know that it's search engine optimized through the headline. And so be sure to craft that headline to match on how someone may search for that on Google. And then oftentimes you'll find that LinkedIn article on the first or second page of Google. So it's a great hack. It's a great way to increase your knowledge and expertise and how to show it off in a way that people can digest at the time that they like to. We talked about hashtags and how to use it for a campaign. This is a post of a company called Garlic Mediterranean restaurant. And one of the takeaways that you can have on this post is that people love to share their opinions. They're so opinionated on LinkedIn compared to other platforms, in my opinion. This one here, for example, received over 15,831 comments. And it's just a simple post of which logo design do you think is the best. I appreciate it if you only pick one, 2, 3, and 4. And people was leaving comments of what they like about number 2, why they chose it, or what they thought number 1 might look like, and have I thought about this? And to believe it or not, I got a lot of engagement on it that gave me opportunities to reach back to those individuals to start a conversation about my marketing services, about creating maybe a logo for them, or some business and marketing strategies that we can go into detail about. And I was able to get more business, more clients just from this one simple post. So, and again, if you take anything away, just know that people love to share their opinions. And if you make it easy for them, they'll do it. And again, I'm not necessarily selling anything on this post, but once they engage on this post, oftentimes you'll find that they'll go back to your LinkedIn profile. And that is where the sales really happen, is on your LinkedIn profile. That's your one-page website. And what can you do on your LinkedIn profile? Well, you can go to LinkedIn Learning and add different skill sets to let people know how proficient you are. And again, we're describing your LinkedIn profile as your one-page website. That's your brag book that shows in detail with attachments, and also with LinkedIn Learning. If you haven't gone there, I highly encourage you. They bought a service called lynda.com, which is a learning educational platform. And now that LinkedIn has it, you get to do this. You get to add the courses that you watched on LinkedIn Learning to your LinkedIn profile. Now, these are some of the, and this is a snapshot of some of the courses that I watched. So instead of, watching Netflix or watching the news, if you have some downtime, and I tell people this right now, during this quarantine time, if you don't come out of this quarantine learning a new skill set, then maybe you should take this time to reflect on the question that I just posed to you and decide, what new skill sets do I need to learn? Or what skill sets do I need to sharpen on? Or what skill sets do I want my customers and my client to know that I'm proficient at? And as you can see, these are some of the skill sets that I've added to my LinkedIn profile. And some of them are, back to back and within the same month. And that just tells you that I was watching a lot of courses over the weekend, and I added them to my profile. And each one is important. Now, I'll remind you, there's over 600 million professionals on LinkedIn. There's a course in there, a skill set that you can sharpen on, that you can learn, something as simple as improving your memory, advertising on LinkedIn, marketing for small businesses, Facebook marketing and advertising. So, and again, if you're on a tight budget, I think it's $35 per month subscription. You can go and learn it at your own pace, or you can hire a professional through the LinkedIn feature of ProFinder or myself, or someone within your Chamber of Commerce. Use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to hyper focus on your ideal customer. So if you don't know who your ideal customer is, this is an opportunity. And again, in my 3-hour LinkedIn workshop, we spent specifically almost 30 minutes or longer on identifying who is your ideal customer. I tell people, you don't need everybody to get you. You just need the right people to get you. And the right people are going to be your customers and your referral partners. Your ideal customer has a set of features, identifiers that qualifies them to be your ideal customers. It could be about the geography they live at, or the seniority or function that they have at their company. It could be the LinkedIn groups that they belong to. It could be that the company that they work for is a public or private, or a nonprofit, or a government education company, or maybe a small company, a partnership, or a solo entrepreneur. You can also drill down based upon the company's size, how long they've been in the industry and company or job title. And I want to give you an example of how I've used this with a customer that I trained and did a LinkedIn workshop with, and they were in the financial wealth management. This individual lived in Katy, and he told me, Freddie, my ideal customer is going to live in Katy so I can meet them face to face, and they're going to be in oil and gas, and they're going to be an engineer, and I would like for them to have a substantial 401k that can possibly migrate them over to other plans. And I said, perfect. This is how we'll use Sales Navigator. And again, apply this on how you would use it, because you can also drill down by zip codes as well. So we drill down by Katie in general. We drill down to individuals that's been at their job, industry and job title, and at their company all 10 years. And again, those could be different answers. You could be in the same industry for 20 years, but with a certain company for 10 years and a certain job title for 5 years. But we opted to look for people that was 10 years or longer in the industry, 10 years or longer with one company, 10 years or longer within that job title, company size over 1,000, because we see a company size over 1,000 would have a good retirement plan or employee benefit plan. We also chose a public company because we felt like they would have even a better option. And we did another category of private company, a different campaign with that. And we identified individuals based upon their industry as well, being oil and gas as an engineer. And that's how I work Sales Navigator to hyper focus on the right audience. You don't want to market and advertise to everybody. You want to hyper focus on the right customer. And not to pick on realtors, but realtors are really, it's really revealing with them with a new real estate agent when you ask them, well, where do you sell at? Where do you focus at? And they tell you everywhere. Well, okay, if your focus is everywhere, then your focus is nowhere. You need to hyper focus on a set audience, and Sales Navigator will help you get there. Sales Navigator also has certain hidden secrets. Depending upon what product or service that you're offering, once you did all the filters that I just described a while ago, it'll give you your search result. And let's say, for example, this was your search result. It resulted over 100 individuals that met your criteria. But the hidden secrets is that there were 10 of them that's had a job change within 90 days. Well, if you're in insurance and maybe you want to help people roll over the benefit plan, or they've had a job change within 90 days, maybe they're ready to upgrade it to a bigger house. This is how maybe a realtor could drill down with this. But use your ideas on how you can figure on what would it mean for you knowing that your customer had a job change within 90 days. But here's the other feature that you may want to focus on too as well that I would say is probably more important, is that out of the 100, 62 of them were active within the past 30 days. So if I was to sit here and think, well, who's going to have the higher probability of maybe engaging back and receiving my message or just being online in general, maybe I should focus on the 62 individuals that were active the last 30 days versus trying to reach all 100 individuals. And again, this search results is revealing not only your first degree contacts, but your second degree or third degrees, or if you belong in the same groups, depending on the features that you put in there. And again, there's over 64 of them that shared the same experiences that you shared. And that could be working within the same industry, companies, or education. But again, if you're not on Sales Navigator, we spend at least 30 to 45 minutes on the LinkedIn workshop just talking about Sales Navigator and talking about how to get into these hidden secrets that Sales Navigator will reveal. The LinkedIn profile 30-point LinkedIn checklist. If you text LinkedIn to 88202, you can take a screenshot of this if you like right now. This is also on my LinkedIn profile, but if you text LinkedIn to 88202, I'll give you a 15-minute free LinkedIn workshop. It's value add, but we'll go over some of the 30-point checklist. And again, it's just going over every single fields that LinkedIn has for you to fill in. And the 3 questions or the 3 boxes is going over the importance of why it's important. Why do you want to do it? You're not just checking off a box, but you're doing it for a purpose and with an intention. I also describe this as, as saying grace before eating. You're not just checking off a box. There's a certain meaning behind each field that you are filling out. When I receive someone on a LinkedIn workshop, one of the things I ask them is that if we were to audit your LinkedIn profile, would we find an online resume, or will we find a LinkedIn sales funnel? And there's a huge difference between a resume and a sales funnel. A resume is just going to be simply that. It's just going to be your job experience. But that doesn't really tell people what problems you solve, what solutions do you provide, how you've helped others along the way. But a LinkedIn sales funnel does. So here's the main question. Am I building the case that I am the best? And you've got to fill in that blank. And if so, do I show the evidence? And again, your LinkedIn profile is your one-page website where you're providing the evidence, you're providing the content. You're not doing a hard sales pitch on your post and your activity, and you're not necessarily doing a hard sales pitch on your LinkedIn profile. You're just leaving enough breadcrumbs for them to learn more about you. Everything is about ABC, always be converting. And each post that you make will convert to a view back to your LinkedIn profile. And it's up to you to put the right information in there so people can make that determination that you are the professional that they're looking to hire or to learn more about. When you look at someone's resume, you're not hiring them based upon necessarily their resume. Their experience may be important to you, but you want to see evidence of that. And we'll start off. This is the LinkedIn banner that I have on my LinkedIn profile right now. Oftentimes, I will change my LinkedIn banner, but what you want to learn and take away from this slide here is that when someone first goes to your LinkedIn profile, we make our first impression immediately. And that banner image is just like a billboard ad. It has to tell your story. And you can quickly tell stories with pictures. And so there has to be a call to action. So, and here I've used the right icons, avatars, and also text copy on top to guide people through a journey of what they can expect from me. Yours may be different. And again, there's other tools that you can use if you are not graphically inclined. You can use Fiverr.com. I use Canva to create this LinkedIn banner. And my call to action is text LinkedIn to 88202 so I can capture the data as well. Your profile picture follows you around. Don't use your logo. Don't use other images. It should be clear and focused. It should be a professional. You can use a professional picture, a lifestyle picture, or a brand picture. Right now, currently, I'm using I'm building up a brand. And so I'm using more of a fun, engaging profile picture than my previous profile, which is more serious and not necessarily as fun as I would like to say. But we connect based upon first impression. And you should use your LinkedIn profile as a tool to bring people in, to want to learn more about you. It should intrigue their interest. And to the right is an example of some bad profile pictures. You should be the focus, not your background. We all have a cell phone. We all have a white wall or a blank wall somewhere. Just get a friend or family member or coworker to take a headshot of you. It should be crisp and clear, not pixelated or squeezed in or far away. So pay real attention to your LinkedIn profile and know that it follows you around. I like this trademark. I like this comment here. Your smile is your logo. Your personality is your business card. How you leave others feeling after experience with you becomes your trademark. And again, digitally, we could do a lot of this with our profile picture and with our headline as well. So I want you to focus on your headline because, like I said, your profile picture and your headline follows you around everywhere you go. So your headline should expand on your banner image, clearly telling that story, who you are, what you do, what problems you solve. It should be intriguing. It should want to bring the viewer in to learn more. And again, I use Frances as a great example. For her to be the president of the Houston Chamber of Commerce, what a great accomplishment. Anyone that's in networking would want to connect with her. Even though it's a job title, it speaks a lot of volume. Now, if you were an insurance agent, if you were a wealth manager, if you had other things that for a job title, maybe you want to get a little bit more creative and identifying the value proposition statement that you like to put there. Who do you help? What problems do you solve? What call to actions do you have? And again, anytime you make a post, in this example, Frances had made a post about the upcoming webinar that we're on right now. And as you can see, you clearly see her headline with her picture. And the green dot next to her picture means that she was just recently online whenever I took a screenshot of this picture. And again, when you see my comment on there, I have a nice colorful background. And again, I call this my brand image of a fun image that I'm wanting to engage my audience with. But the solid green dot means that I'm currently on LinkedIn right now. So these are some insights that I'm sharing with you on how to identify if someone's on the mobile device now or if they were recently on there. And the importance and the value of that knowledge is that this may be a good time just to get on the phone and call them. And again, give you an example of a good headline. It's all subjective, but it should quickly tell your story. Mine is helping brands increase more sales and employee engagement on LinkedIn with social selling and employee advocacy training. Then my call to action is text LinkedIn to 88202 to schedule a call.
We have a lot of good questions here for you, and we're getting ready to run out of time. And I know this is a lot of great information. Let me know if you're ready for some Q&A.
Okay. Yes, we can do Q&A right now. And I've got this presentation on my LinkedIn profile. And so they can view it there, and we can talk more on our 15-minute call. So let's go into some Q&As.
Awesome. And there's some great, we have a ton of people watching us today and some great questions. So I want to make sure we get to these. But the first one is it better to post from your page or create an article and share it through my profile? That's a question from Candace.
So LinkedIn articles is available through your profile. But yes, you do want to post content on your LinkedIn company page because the more followers that you have, the more of an audience that you have that's receiving your messages.
That's good. Thank you for that. And another good question is how often do you recommend posting on LinkedIn? And does it matter if the content is a post or an article?
Sure. So we talk about the frequency of your engagement on LinkedIn. So the more frequent that you are, the higher engagement that you'll have. It's just common sense, you know. I tell people, you know, if I walk into a crowded room and I gaze around, and if I look in people's eyes, the more eye contact I make, the more engagement I can have. And that's what we're doing. We're putting content out there to try to acquire more eyeballs viewing our posts. So I would say if you're not posting at least once a day, you have a missed opportunity. There's automation tools that can help you with that frequency if you just don't have that time. And again, go to my suggestion, get an intern.
Great answer. Another good question here from Al is, how would you search for international representatives, distributors, businesses to sell your products within their specific countries? Any
Absolutely.
thoughts?
So within that Sales Navigator feature, you can drill down to specific regions, countries, and different cities within those particular countries. So I would use Sales Navigator to do that search. And I would use another tool that I use to scrape email addresses. So build up a great email database that way too as well. So reach them on LinkedIn and also by email.
Thank you. Another great question from Bill is, Freddie, do you have any CRMs you would recommend to track when you have contacted folks that syncs with Outlook to remind you?
You know what? Outlook is a Microsoft product. Microsoft purchased LinkedIn in 2016 back for, I think, a little over $2.6 billion. Yes, Outlook has a widget that you can sync in your LinkedIn contacts in there as well. HubSpot offers a free version, and there's some Chrome extensions that you can go to the Chrome web browser to use CRMs, and HubSpot offers one, so does Salesforce and Pipedrive.
Good answer. Hopefully this will help you. And if not, contact Freddie directly. Some more good questions is from Dahlia. Do you think that Prime feature is really worth it, or do you recommend it?
You know, in 2008, I got on LinkedIn on the free version. And for the majority of the time, I grew my organization on the free version of LinkedIn. Only if it's important for you to drill down on a specific type of audience is the prime version important. Also, and again, the hidden secrets that I shared, you know, would you rather try to talk and have 1,000 conversations, or would you rather have maybe 50 conversations with individuals that has a 7% more probability chance of converting to a real customer? So the choice is really up to you.
Thank you. And Donna has another great question here too, is, are all these tips for the LinkedIn app on the phone only, or are polls available on the website version?
The polls are available on the desktop version, but there are different features on the mobile and tablet compared to the desktop.
And so Adam has a question here. It says, he believes that Find Nearby feature has been discontinued. Do you still have access on the free or the premium platform?
I'm on the free version right now, and it's still available.
Good. And then with that Find one, are there going to be doing any features? What would you recommend in Zoom meetings like this on how to connect with your app? Or has anything been invented yet?
Yes, actually. So I've partnered with a sponsor called InCrowd, and they are a startup company officing out of the Cannon, which is a ecosystem for startups in other parts of town. And their app allows you to create your digital business card. And so I market all of my events now through the InCrowd app and other platforms by redirecting to the InCrowd app. And there you create your digital business card, and you can see your LinkedIn URL, your Facebook, your Instagram. And here's the point, is that people behave differently on different platforms, and people have different type of quality of connections on LinkedIn versus Facebook. If it's a Facebook connection, you see a mutual connection, that means that they are truly friends, and there's truly a relationship there that you can leverage if it's a common connection. So yes, the tool is called InCrowd.com.
InCrowd.com, thank you. And a lot of people, they post on Instagram and it automatically shares on Facebook. Should the same message, if you're using that, be put on Instagram, or should it be tweaked a little different to make it more professional?
You know, there's customizations that you can do, because even the size of the picture on Canva is different, so you can create different imagery. It just depends on how much time you have, you know, and how much care do you want to put into customizing your post. If you don't have the time, there's workflows that will put a post on Instagram that will workflow into your Facebook, that can also workflow into your LinkedIn as well. So with one action, you can hit multiple social media platforms. But if you have the time, try to customize it, because each audience is going to be different.
True, very true. Thank you. Another great question is, what is the best way to not look like spam when you are looking to make a new connection?
So I tell people on the first connection request, don't try to sell someone. Don't try to sell them on the second communication or third communication. On your first LinkedIn request, just say, I'm looking forward to connect. You don't have to go, I looked into your profile and it seems very impressive. Well, listen, that's just a standard template. Just say, I'm looking to connect. Then once you connect, try spending time to learn more about them. You know, we all are looking for an easy way out. And I want to tell you, the only time that success comes before work is in the dictionary, right? So you've got to put the work in there and learn more about the individual. Have you ever read the book, The Fred Factor by Mark Sandburn?
No.
Okay, he's a very well-known speaker, and he talks about employee advocacy a little bit. And again, I was able to reach out to him because I received an inbound message from him, and I was able to talk to him about some of the concerns I had about his profile and his website as a giver. So if you don't want to come off as salesy or spammy, then present yourself as a giver, because it is truly a giver's game. And that's what we learn. You know, there's an old ancient textbook out there that talks about the gift of giving, you know. So be a giver, and don't worry about how you're going to be returned and repaid back. You know, it's got to come from the heart with that intention.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. And I really love how you emphasize that we need to, during this time of quarantine, to build on a new skill set or improve on one. And that's why we're having these Tuesday COVID business webinars, and to make sure that people are sharpening their skill sets and maybe learning a couple of new things. So we thank you so much for sharing this amazing information with us today. In closing remarks, is there anything that I know you have a few more presentations, and people can connect with you so they can learn more, but anything that you'd like to close with, words of encouragement during this time period, or anything else?
Yes, I do. My motto in life is to walk in the spirit of love. And with that idea, you'll have a good indicator of how to engage and how to behave offline and online. And when you walk in the spirit of love, you're able to give as a true giver, and you're able to help and lift others out. I often tell people, start building a community now. Don't wait until there's a crisis. And when you build it now, you're able to receive wise counsel from your friends and from your audience, and you're also to get more opportunities. So start working on your network now. Loneliness is the enemy's playground. And if you're home right now by yourself, quarantine, there's a lot of great online events such as the East End Chamber of Commerce, QC Young Professionals, but find a community. And if you cannot find the right community, then be that leader and release your insecurities and your fears and start something. Just start something. The greatest gift that we can give is create. So
I love
whether
it.
it's art, music, a voice to lend out to the voiceless, or an audience to people to bring the community together.
Good. Thank you so much, Freddie. It's been an honor to know you for my entire time here with the Chamber, 10 years. And I thank you for what you do for our East End community and for the Houston young professionals in general. Thank you for being a great leader. And we wish everybody we welcome you to come join us again next Tuesday. Make sure that if you want to share this with your friends, we will have a recording on our website, and we'll also have this on our Facebook page. Okay. Thanks again, Freddie, and we'll see everyone next time.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.